Hey, one of my friends asked for information on how to do this, and so I'm making a video about teaching your dog how to pivot into heel. I use a lure, and sometimes I use my mouth to click, but I'm not really super big on the clicker like many other people are. Okay, so the reason why you would want a dog to use its back end to pivot into heel and not use its front end as much is because in competition it's completely necessary. The dog isn't supposed to go back and around you. And in service work, it takes a lot less space for the dog to end up in the correct position. So it's much more cumbersome to be standing on line at the cash register and have your dog become out of place and then have to show them with a hand lure to go back and around. Instead, you want the dog to keep its head at your side and just pivot its back legs around. So I'm going to be showing you both my dogs. My service dog is not as good at this as my service dog in training because when we started his training I realized how important it was. But I'm going to be showing you my service dog first. And she's not quite as good, so you get to see how I do a good foundation, and then you'll see my service dog in training pivot both sides into heel. Okay. Okay, so this is my service dog, Daphne. The first thing you're going to want to teach is how to get them to target a book or overturned bowl like the one I have here. Daphne already knows this, so if you need help on that, please just comment and I'll show you. Here, I am treating Daphne for getting on the block. Now, I treat her for one step. Only one step at a time is best. Then you slowly increase to 2 steps or 3. Notice how my body is facing her face instead of in heel position. This is easier for her, but you can help the dog by putting your body parallel to theirs and sort of scooching them over. So now I'm having her do 4 steps or 5 and then treating her. Back to 1 step just to set her up for success. Now I'm asking her to move around farther. Notice how she's not facing me as much anymore. She's slowly going to learn how to move into heel position this way. I'm luring her and asking her back end to move closer and closer to me. You have to make sure to do this in both directions or else the dog will start to favor one side. Here she's about halfway to heel position. If they seem to have trouble, go back to the first step and face them again. A lot of dogs will have problems with this because they're just not naturally built to do it, so they have to build up the muscle in order to do it, so be patient. Notice how she's not facing me anymore, but I am taking little steps to guide her in the right direction.
Yes, good girl.
Almost there.
Yay. Go the other way. Yay, good girl.
When she seems to get frustrated, I stop and ask for 1 step again and treat.
Girl. No, it's not that easy, is it? Good girl. Let's do it. Let's do it.
time to take a break.
Yes.
Daphne's obviously not doing as well as she started off with. It's important to take frequent breaks when you're doing something frustrating or that might be difficult for the dog.
Yay.
Okay, this is Princeton. He's a service dog in training. He knows this a lot better than Daphne does because we put a lot more work into it after I realized how important it was.
Listen.
He also knows his place.
Play. Good boy.
Notice how I'm having him swing his butt around to touch either side of my body. I use the cue leg for this because he's touching each of my legs. He knows which way to go because I'm luring him in that direction.
Good boy. Play.
Didn't go the way I wanted,
Go that way.
so I'm having him do it again.
Good boy. Good boy. You can go all the way around.
Now I'm moving my body to make sure that he can get a full 360 degrees. That's also important so that the dog has a full range of motion once you're done with the exercise. Back to luring him into heel position now.
Good boy.
Now you'll see the finished product. This is what Princeton looks like right now when I make turns in heel position. He's not perfect, but we're getting there. Notice how his back legs move separately from his front legs. They're making much wider turns. He can do it in both directions too.
Stand.
This kind of exercise is not just useful for service work. It has many different applications.